The end?
Yeah.
Do you tell her how much you love her?
I don't want to.
You don't want to?
Oh, yeah. I love you, and I send you special.
Why was Brandon Blackstock's first move after being diagnosed with cancer to divorce Kelly Clarkson? Meeting Brandon was Kelly's biggest misfortune. She fell for him before he was even divorced, but quietly waited until his divorce was finalized to pursue him. But Brandon wasn't interested in Kelly herself. He was after her $50 million fortune. Brandon had no proper licenses but acted as Kelly's manager after marriage, handling all her shows and assets. Kelly only regained control of her assets after discovering Brandon had embezzled her money. Brandon found himself broke again and filed for divorce.
The day before he died, Kelly Clarkson hit pause. She postponed her August Vegas residency, telling fans their children's father had been ill, and she needed to be there for River, Remy. By Thursday, August 7th, Brandon Blackstock had passed away at 40.
Okay. Compartmentalization. So I love her too.
Sad news to report now. Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband, Brandon Blackstock, has. So we know this according to People magazine. Brandon was 48 years old.
Here are some of our other top stories we are following today. Talent manager Brandon Blackstock, the ex-husband of singer Kelly Clarkson and father of her 2 children, has died after a battle with cancer.
Before the grief, before the condolences, before anyone hit pause on Vegas, there was a single line of California law that changed the whole story. It's not dramatic, it's not tabloid, it's boring in the way receipts-only truth usually is. In California, managers cannot book jobs for artists unless they're licensed talent agents or they're acting in conjunction with one. That's the rule. And in November 2023, the state's labor commissioner said Brandon Blackstock crossed it. Here's what that actually means in plain English. Booking employment is legally reserved for licensed talent agencies under the Talent Agencies Act. Managers can coach, strategize, and help, but they can't be the ones who procure the deal unless a licensed agent is in the mix in the way the law allows. That's the rule. And in November 2023, the state's labor commissioner said Brandon Blackstock crossed it. Here's what that actually means in plain English. Booking employment is legally reserved for licensed talent agencies under the Talent Agencies Act. Managers can coach, strategize, and help, but they can't be the ones who procure the deal unless a licensed agent is in the mix in the way the law allows. In its decision, the labor commissioner wrote it bluntly. A manager cannot procure or attempt to procure employment for artists without the license. That's the line. And once the line is crossed, the money tied to those bookings can boomerang back. In this case, the order said certain commissions paid to Brandon had to be returned. The numbers made headlines because they weren't theoretical, they were itemized. The ruling said he owed Kelly $2,641,374 tied to deals like The Voice, Norwegian Cruise Line, and Wayfair, plus a small amount connected to hosting the Billboard Music Awards. The commissioner also said the talk show did not cross the line because he worked in conjunction with her licensed agents on that one, which meant no repayment for the Kelly Clarkson show. Translation: not every dollar was disputed, only the ones attached to bookings the state concluded a manager shouldn't have made alone.
Brandon Blackstock, talent manager and ex-husband of singer Kelly Clarkson, has passed away at the age of 48 after a 3-year battle with cancer. His death was confirmed on August 7th, 2025, and has deeply affected Clarkson and their children. He was married to Kelly Clarkson from 2013 to 2022. They shared 2 children, River, 11, and Remington, 9. Blackstock also had 2 older children, Savannah and Seth, from a previous marriage. He was the son of Narvel Blackstock and former stepson of country legend Reba McEntire. Professionally, he managed artists like Blake Shelton and Rascal Flatts. Kelly Clarkson postponed her Las Vegas residency and canceled tapings of The Kelly Clarkson Show to be with her children during this difficult time. She expressed her need to be fully present for them and shared that Blackstock had been ill for some time. Brandon bravely battled cancer for more than 3 years. He passed away peacefully, surrounded by family.
So what did Kelly do once that decision landed? She pushed for a full accounting. In March 2024, she filed a civil suit asking the court to look back further than the administrative case, which focused on 2017-2020, and to order a comprehensive audit of every dollar that flowed to Starstruck, the family firm. Brandon fired back in April, saying the administrative ruling was binding, that she'd missed an appeal window, and that the claim should be dismissed. It set up a summer courtroom clash that, frankly, nobody needed. Then, in late May, both sides folded their suits and settled. The trial calendar was cleared, the paperwork went quiet. If you've supported Kelly through all of this, here's why the rule matters so much and why the title of this video is exactly what it sounds like. Before she fought back in filings, before fans rallied around the idea of emotional labor, a state decision said the line between managing and procuring had been crossed, and that some commissions tied to her work should be returned. That's not rumor, that's on the record. And it's why the anger never really evaporated, because the thing people were mad about was written into a ruling with dollar amounts next to it. Let's walk the beats the internet usually argues about, and keep it receipt core. 1. The law. California's Talent Agencies Act is the backbone here. It's old, it's dry, and it was written to keep everyone in their lane. Agent's book, manager's guide. When managers step over that line without the license and without the proper acting in conjunction with the licensed agent's safe harbor, the deals they touched can get unwound financially. That's the mechanism that ordered money back to Kelly. If you were wondering what rule did he break, it's that one. 2. The list. The Voice was the big ticket item. The order also called out specific brand and hosting bookings. If you felt a gut punch reading the breakdown, you weren't alone. For fans, it connected the dots between the grind they watched, touring, TV tapings, parenting, and the behind-the-scenes money flow the ruling said shouldn't have happened that way. The nuance matters. The commissioner explicitly found that on the daytime talk show, he'd worked with licensed agents, so those commissions stood. It wasn't a blanket condemnation, it was a line-by-line audit. 3. The follow-up. After the November 2023 decision, things didn't just end. Kelly's March 2024 complaint pressed for a deeper look. Brandon's April response argued the court shouldn't relitigate what the labor commissioner already decided. Then, May 2024 arrived and both sides agreed. Settlements are not speeches, they're practical. No one gets a victory parade, but everyone gets their life back. In an ugly, public, years-long unraveling, everything is settled is sometimes the most adult sentence you can write. 4. The human piece. In August 2025, the news no one was prepared for hit. Brandon died of cancer at 48. Hours before that confirmation, Kelly postponed her August Las Vegas dates to be, in her words, fully present for their kids. If you needed a single snapshot of priorities, careers, headlines, courts, then two young humans, the snapshot was that postponement. No statements beyond the basics, no spectacle, just a door closed and a family taking time. Grief and accountability aren't opposites, they're heavy truths you carry at the same time. So why make a video now? And why this angle? Because you asked for the rule, not the rumor, the rule. The thing Brandon did before Kelly fought back was cross a professional boundary the state takes seriously, a line that protects artists from conflicts and protects managers from being put in spots the law says they shouldn't occupy. When the commissioner found that line was crossed on specific bookings, the order said, send the money back. That's what fought back looks like when you translate internet outrage into actual legal outcomes. If you're angry, you're not crazy. It's not just the dollar figures, it's the years. Years where she was building a show, writing, touring, raising 2 kids, and on top of all of that, wrestling with paperwork that ultimately said some of that labor was tied to commissions that needed to be unwound. Anger makes sense. Compassion makes sense too. Both truths can live in the same timeline without canceling each other out. Let's end where we started, with the answer built into the title. The rule Brandon Blackstock broke before Kelly Clarkson fought back was the no procuring without a license rule under California's Talent Agencies Act. A labor commissioner said so in writing and attached a refund. Kelly answered the only way you can in that arena, by asking for an accounting, by pushing through the process, and finally, by settling when it was time to stop letting court calendars decide the future. Then, when the ground moved in August, she did the other kind of fighting back, the kind that happens off camera, by shutting the door and choosing her kids over everything else. That's not a headline, that's a value. If this gave you clarity more than drama, hit like. If you still feel two things at once, anger at the record, compassion for a life cut short, say so in the comments without turning strangers into targets. And if you've got questions about how the agent-manager line actually works and why it matters, drop them below. I'll bring the receipts, not the rumors, every time.
Okay. Compartmentalization. So I love you too. This next song, I've never rewritten a song more, and I probably never will. I wrote this song with a lot of hope, okay, and projection for happiness and better than what was happening, and then well, life set in, and I had to change the lyrics. Everybody was like, "Wait, why aren't you singing this song?" And I was like, "Have you heard the lyrics?" It's fun. Embarrassing. And then I ended up changing it and doing it one time, like 2 years ago, when we did a residency here, and then I was like, you know what? That sounded a little angry. So I just, I wanted it to sound how it feels now. I'm 43, done some therapy, and I changed the lyrics now. And I feel like it's perfect now. I promise. I swear to God, I'm not gonna change it again. But this new lyric, it just represents kind of I don't know. I feel like we grow up, right? And this is like the more grown-up version of it. And my favorite lyric, and why is because it's so important to know this, is I think we're taught whenever we're a kid. I'm really trying to pull it together.